Let us consider the irony that clinging to a favorable rebirth is still clinging. In Yong Jia Xuan Jui's, let's try this again. In Yong Jia Xuan Jui's The Song of Enlightenment, the author explores the irony once again that craving an auspicious rebirth is still craving. Sadly, by the time Chan migrated from China to Japan, where it was known as Zen, much nuance had been lost. And like a Xerox of a Xerox of a Xerox, a subtlety of mindfulness and meditation was relegated to mere belief and its clunkiness. What is the problem with belief? Belief is a mental contrivance, a rigid clinging to idea and emotion. Belief is of yang. Remember that the yang worldview thinks that being rigid, fearful, controlling, elitist, cryptic, competitive, and cruel is a good thing. Belief is the antithesis of yin, which thinks that being flexible, loving, laid back, egalitarian, lucid, cooperative, and kind is where it's at. Oh yeah, by the way, this is in harmony with what the Buddha taught, not the other. If our zeal for auspicious rebirth is clinging, then Buddha's antidote was not belief or disbelief. Rather, the antidote he recommended was simply mindfulness and meditation. I look forward to chanting and meditating with you after approximately 30 seconds of housekeeping. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. For more than 30 years, I spent more than 8 hours a day every day studying, practicing, mastering, and reverse engineering the teachings and techniques of each sect of Buddhism so that you would not have to. Welcome to Meditate Like a Jedi, which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers just like you. One moment, I gotta blow my nose. All right. Tonight, let's play with the sadhana version of the Heart of Wisdom Sutra, attributed to Quan Chi and Pusan, the archetype of love and letting go, compiled, adapted, and amplified by Dzogchen Lama Jigme Gyatso Rime Rinpoche from many traditional sources. I'd like to begin with a mental exercise. These following two recitations are not prayers to real or imagined entities, for such things make petulant, mewing infants of us all. Au contraire, the following two recitations are exercises that strengthen the intention of empathetic bodhicitta and enthusiastic refuge. Our first recitation is very literal, and we're setting it to a triplet chant. Please join me. May I liberate all beings from the tyranny of hating, craving, and clinging, by relying on thee. Buddha's example, instructions, and students. These three nouns are so useful that over the centuries they earned the metaphoric nickname of the three wish-fulfilling jewels, kind of like Aladdin's lamp. So for our second recitation, we're sticking with the same ideas, but we're going to express them in a more concise and more figurative manner, and we're setting this recitation to the bookend chant, which is pretty much my go-to chant. May I liberate all beings by relying on the three jewels. May I liberate all beings by relying on the three jewels. May I liberate all beings by relying on the three jewels. As children, our first bicycle typically came with training wheels, and although they were clunky, they got the job done. Similarly, this evening's first exercise is going to be clunky. During our inhalation, we could silently and mentally recite the 12 syllables, perceiving this very turbulent play of mind. And during our exhalation, we could silently and mentally recite an additional 12 syllables, relaxing into mind's non-graspable nature. With each inhalation, do your best to generate a vertical traction between your head and your tuchus. With each exhalation, do your best to relax. Let us train in right view's first fold of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. Together, let's chant. It is said that Quan Chi Yin Pu saw an archetype of love and letting go, while moving in the deep peace of perfect understanding. Shed light on the five aggregates and found them equally empty. After this realization, she made peace with all pain. One moment. Let's try this again. Oh, that's what happened. Okay. It is said that Quan Chi Yin Pu saw an archetype of love and letting go, while moving in the deep peace of perfect understanding of awareness and release. Shed light on the five aggregates and found them equally empty. After this realization, she made peace with all pain. Let's take a deeper look before we start meditating. If we explore emptiness literally, if we explore birthlessness, selflessness, deathlessness, and emptiness literally, we're going to wind up either in superstition, blind faith, or the skullduggery of pseudo-intellectual pontification. But what if emptiness was simply a metaphor? Let's reverse engineer that metaphor. Every time we relax into our exhalation, whatever we noticed during our previous inhalation could at least momentarily feel less graspable, as non-graspable as a vast empty void, as non-graspable as the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn, which, although is tantalizing to the eye, is intangible to the hand. Now let us remove the first two metaphoric training wheels, reducing our contemplative exercises from 12 syllables per breath down to just 3. During our perceptive inhalation, we could silently and mentally recite, "Notice this." And during our releasing exhalation, we could silently and mentally recite, "Relaxing." Let's chant. Listen, Shariputra. Now, Shariputra is just a proper noun. It could be like Joe or Sam. Listen, Shariputra, form is emptiness, emptiness is form. Form does not differ from emptiness, emptiness does not differ from form. The same is true with feeling, appraisal, impulse, and awareness. So, during our in-breath, we perceive our body. During our out-breath, we could release it. During our inhalation, we notice feelings of pleasure, pain, or neither. During our exhalation, we could release it as if it was as non-graspable as a vast empty void. If during our inhalation we notice our appraisal or we explore the intensity of said pleasure or pain, then during our exhalation we could release that appraisal. If during our inhalation we notice our impulses, our primal drives to shove or reach or cling, during our exhalation we could release those impulses as if they were as non-graspable as a vast empty void. During our inhalations, we could be aware of anything, including awareness itself. And as we exhale, we could physically relax and mentally release as if that awareness was as non-graspable as a vast empty void. Like the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn. Now let us remove the second of two metaphoric training wheels, and thus reduce our meditative exercises from 3 syllables per breath down to just 1. I like to refer to this as completing our climb to cruising altitude. As we breathe in, we could silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this, and as we exhale, we could silently and mentally recite the monosyllabic verb ease, which functions as a synonym of relax. What if emptiness was not a profound truth, but simply a metaphor for natural experiences inherent with every exhalation? Let's chant. Listen, Shariputra, phenomena mocked with emptiness. They are neither produced nor destroyed, neither corrupted nor purified, neither increasing nor decreasing. So, non-duality is nothing something we have to believe. It's also not literal. It is figurative. Listen, if you don't know the difference between organic, fair trade, dark chocolate, rich in antioxidants and quite delicious, and a steaming pile of doggy droppings, then you're not allowed to make brownies for me. So whatever we notice, whether it's production, corruption, increasing, decreasing, purification, or destruction, whatever we notice during our inhalation, we physically relax and mentally release as best we can during our exhalation. Now that we've reached cruising altitude, together as a team, let us meditate as transformatively as Yoda on Dagobah under the guidance of the Force Ghost of Qui-Gon Jinn. Together. Therefore, in emptiness, there is no form, no feeling, no pray, no. Let's try this again. I'm tripping over myself. Therefore, in emptiness, there is no form, no feeling, no appraisal, no impulse, and no awareness that once perceived cannot be released. So we're switching emphasis from the word emptiness to the word no. And we're not using no in a literal sense, but in a figurative sense, as inferred by the phrase of amplification yonder. So whatever form we notice, we can release. Whatever awareness we notice, we can release. Over the next three exercises, let's deconstruct the three circles of experience. So this is a common theme in Buddhism. They'll set an arbitrary number and just will this arbitrarily organize experience and then deconstruct it. Whether it's a 3-point experience or an 18-point experience or a 5-point experience or a 20-some-odd point experience. The issue is not the minutia of organization. The issue is that however we organize experience, we can notice it and we can release it in harmony with our inhalation and our exhalation. Let's chant. No sensation, no flavor, no scent, no sound, no sight, no phenomenon. Let's try this again. No sensation, no flavor, no scent, no sound, no sight, no phenomena that once perceived cannot be released. So this is going to be a theme for a while. Just want to give you a heads up. Let's chant. No body, no tongue, no nose, no ears, no eyes, no mind that once perceived cannot be released. Let's chant. No feeling, no tasting, no smelling, no hearing, no seeing, no noticing that once perceived cannot be released. So we went from the objects of perception through the organs of perception to the act of perception. Let's chant. No interdependent origins, no extinction of them. From confusion to aging and death that once perceived cannot be released. Together. No stress, no exacerbation, no liberation, no path. No understanding, no attainment that once perceived cannot be released. Together. Because there is no attainment that once perceived cannot be released. The Bodhisattva archetypes of awareness and letting go supported. By the perfection of understanding find no obstacles for their minds. 1 moment. By the perfection of understanding, find no obstacles from other minds that once perceived cannot be released. Together. Having no obstacles that once perceived cannot be released, they transcend the tyranny of fear, liberating themselves forever from the tyranny of illusion and realizing perfect nirvana. So let's explore this a moment. When we feel fear as we breathe in, so every time we exhale, every time we relax into our exhalation, whatever fear we noticed during our previous inhalation could feel as non-graspable as a vast empty void. Whatever illusion we experience, so every time we relax into our exhalation, whatever illusion we perceived during our previous inhalation could feel rather non-graspable. Together. All Buddhas of the past, present, and future, thanks to this perfect understanding of noticing and releasing, arrive at full right and universal enlightenment. together. Therefore, one should know that this perfect understanding of noticing and releasing is like a great mantra, is like an unequaled mantra. The destroyer of the tyranny of all suffering, the incorruptible truth. A mantra prajna paramita's perfect wisdom of awareness and release that could therefore be proclaimed. Let's chant. This is the mantra gate gate para samgate buddhi swaha. May all beings go completely and perfectly close to enlightenment. 50% of the Buddha's Eightfold Path pertains to loving kindness. 75%, 25% of that refers to wishing love, and the remaining 75% refers to our actual behavior. May all beings practice self-kind communication, conduct, and calmness for the spontaneous and uncontrived. Seal our practice by chanting the four measurables, which touch upon the first and second folds of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. May everyone be free from misery, may everyone be happy, may no one be separated from the happiness. May everyone have balance from the tyranny of hating, craving, and clinging, freed. If you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. In approximately 10 3/4 hours, I would very much like to return to lead tomorrow's early morning meditation class and group practice. And if you are as geeky as me, may the Force be with you always.